Welcome along. This is Paper Talk here on Sky Sports News, bringing you a first look at the sports stories that are making the headlines. And
Manchester City have taken a major step towards completing the signing of Lille midfielder Ayoub Bouaddi after reaching an agreement on personal terms with the highly rated 18-year-old. The Moroccan international has reportedly given the green light to a move to the Etihad Stadium, putting Manchester City in a strong position as negotiations with Lille enter an advanced stage. The remaining discussions are now focused on the transfer fee and the final structure of the deal. Manchester City are understood to be negotiating a package worth approximately €100 million, which is around £85 million. Such a figure would represent a significant investment in a player who is still only 18, but City believe Bouaddi has the potential to become an important midfielder at the highest level. The agreement over personal terms is one of the most important developments in the transfer. While negotiations between clubs can sometimes take time, securing the player's approval gives Manchester City confidence that Bouaddi is prepared to make the move if an agreement with Lille is reached. Bouaddi has emerged as one of the most exciting young midfielders in French football. His development at Lille has attracted attention from major European clubs, but Manchester City have now moved decisively to try to win the race for his signature. At just 18 years old, Bouaddi already possesses qualities that have made him an attractive option for a club operating at the highest level. His technical ability, composure and understanding of midfield play have helped him establish a reputation as a player with enormous potential. Manchester City are not simply looking at what Bouaddi can offer today. The club are also considering his long-term development and the possibility of him becoming a central figure in their midfield in the coming years. The proposed transfer fee shows the level of confidence City have in the player. A deal worth approximately €100 million would be a huge commitment, particularly for a teenager, but the club appear convinced that Bouaddi's potential makes the investment worthwhile. The midfielder's decision to give the green light to the transfer is equally important. It suggests that Bouaddi sees Manchester City as the right destination for the next stage of his career. Moving to England would represent a major change for the young midfielder. He would be joining one of the biggest clubs in European football and would immediately find himself competing for places within a squad containing elite players. The opportunity to develop at Manchester City could be particularly attractive because of the club's environment. City have built a reputation for developing technically gifted players while demanding a high level of tactical understanding from everyone involved. Bouaddi would therefore be expected to continue developing his game, adapting to the intensity of English football and competing for opportunities at the highest level. The negotiations with Lille are now the key part of the operation. Manchester City have reportedly reached an agreement with the player, but the clubs still have to complete the financial side of the transfer. Lille are understandably in a strong position. Bouaddi is young, highly rated and under contract, meaning the French club have significant leverage when negotiating his departure. Manchester City, however, appear prepared to make a major financial commitment. The €100 million valuation indicates that City are not approaching the deal as a low-cost gamble. They see Bouaddi as a major long-term investment. The proposed £85 million equivalent would also make the transfer one of the most expensive deals involving a player of Bouaddi's age. That would naturally create expectations, but City appear willing to accept the pressure because of their belief in his ability. For Bouaddi, the next few days could be among the most important of his young career. A move to Manchester would give him the chance to experience the Premier League and European football while continuing his development at one of the world's leading clubs. His decision to approve the transfer is a clear indication that he is interested in the project. Personal terms are often a complicated part of major transfers, particularly when several clubs are involved, so reaching an agreement gives City an important advantage. The focus is now firmly on Lille. Manchester City will need to reach a final agreement with the French club over the €100 million package. The negotiations could involve the basic transfer fee, payment schedules, performance-related bonuses and other conditions. Both clubs will have their own priorities. Lille will want to protect the value of one of their most important young assets, while City will want to ensure that the financial structure of the deal fits their plans. If an agreement is reached, Bouaddi could become one of Manchester City's most significant young signings in recent years. The club's interest in the midfielder reflects a broader strategy of identifying talented players before they reach their peak. Instead of waiting until a young player has established himself as a global star, City can invest early and attempt to develop him into a top-level player within their own system. Bouaddi fits that strategy perfectly. His age means that Manchester City could potentially have a player capable of contributing for many seasons. If his development continues as expected, the €100 million investment could eventually be viewed as a long-term move rather than simply a huge immediate transfer. There will nevertheless be pressure on the teenager. The Premier League is one of the most demanding competitions in world football, and adapting to its pace, physicality and schedule can take time. Manchester City would therefore need to manage Bouaddi's development carefully. The club could initially give him time to adapt while gradually increasing his responsibilities. His progress would likely be closely monitored by the coaching staff with the objective of helping him become comfortable with the tactical and physical demands of English football. Bouaddi's versatility could also be important. Modern midfielders are required to contribute in several areas, and City's style places significant demands on players in the centre of the pitch. The ability to retain possession, make intelligent decisions, press effectively and contribute to attacking movements is essential. A young player joining City must also understand how to operate within a highly structured system. That makes the transfer more than simply a financial investment. It is an investment in a player who Manchester City believe can fit their footballing philosophy. The reported agreement on personal terms means the player is already on board with that vision. Bouaddi has reportedly given City the green light, and that could prove decisive as the clubs continue their negotiations. The midfielder now appears ready for the move, leaving the two clubs to settle the remaining financial details. Manchester City supporters will naturally be excited by the development. The possibility of signing an 18-year-old Moroccan international for approximately €100 million demonstrates the scale of the club's ambition. It also suggests that City are planning for the future while continuing to compete for major honours. The signing would provide another young talent with the opportunity to develop alongside experienced players. For Bouaddi, that environment could accelerate his progress if he adapts successfully. The Moroccan international would also bring a different footballing background to the squad. His experience in France and his international career could provide him with valuable experience as he prepares for a new challenge. However, the immediate priority remains completing the transfer. Manchester City and Lille are already in advanced talks, with the valuation understood to be around €100 million. The negotiations will now determine whether the clubs can find common ground on the final agreement. The fact that personal terms have already been settled should make the next stage easier, although no major transfer can be considered complete until the clubs reach a definitive agreement and the necessary formalities are completed. For now, the situation can be described as a significant step forward for Manchester City. Bouaddi wants the move. City have agreement with the player on personal terms and discussions with Lille are progressing. The remaining obstacle is the transfer fee. Manchester City must now convince Lille to accept the proposed package and finalise the structure of the deal. If they succeed, Bouaddi could become a Manchester City player in a transfer that would attract major attention across European football. The reported €100 million figure would underline how highly City rate him. The club would be paying a premium for potential, but the objective would be to secure a player before his value increases even further. That strategy carries risk, but Manchester City have repeatedly demonstrated their willingness to invest heavily when they believe a player can contribute to the club's long-term ambitions. Bouaddi represents exactly that type of opportunity. At 18, he still has plenty of room for improvement. His physical development, tactical understanding and experience will naturally continue to grow. Manchester City would be hoping that their coaching environment can help turn his potential into consistent top-level performances. The move would also be a major moment for Bouaddi personally. Leaving Lille for Manchester would mean stepping into a completely different footballing environment. He would have to adapt to a new country, a new league, a new dressing room and a different level of expectation, but the reward could be enormous. If he establishes himself at Manchester City, Bouaddi could develop into one of the leading midfielders.